Okay, hi Kalee, welcome back.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming back on the show. We were just talking about you were on about 6 months ago, and we had some technical problems, and you ended up on the audio podcast. So we're going to give the video another try and see, and hopefully we can make a good interview for you. The last time you were on, you had a children's book. What
Yes.
what was the title of your children's book?
So my kids' book, it's coming out on September 19th, actually. It's called MoneyWise Mabel's Bursting Bank.
Okay, that sounds kind of familiar. And but your new book, Make Money Your Thing, this is not a kid's book.
No, unless your kid is really good at reading.
Well, this is an adult book then. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, it's a novel. It's a nonfiction book.
Is it just like money managing tips and do this, don't do that, or is it more of a story?
Good question. I think it is more of a story. I wanted to create, I guess the first version of it was probably that very like technical finance based book, like a textbook or something. But I knew I wanted to write a book about money that was fun, that like made people want to keep reading it and that felt like I had the intention where I wanted it to feel like you were having a conversation with just a friend about money, so that it was like easy, it was light, it felt good. And so that was the goal. And what's really cool is now that it's out and I'm starting to get reviews and things like that, that is what people are saying, that it feels like they're just having a conversation with a long-term friend about their money and finances. And so I wanted it to be this like non-intimidating, engaging place for women specifically to feel really good and uplifted about their money. And I think it's working.
Is it geared towards women specifically?
It is. Yeah, I wrote it very much for women. I am a single mom myself, and I was raised by a single mom. So that was always my goal. I'm very much a cheerleader for women, and I want women to truly know and believe that they can achieve their biggest financial goals. And the finance industry has been quite male dominated for some time now. So I felt like I really had to lean into that, my wanting to support women. And that was really my why, again, for very like personal reasons. Myself personally being a financially independent woman, I just wanted women to feel like there's this really fun, inclusive, safe space where women can feel really empowered with their money. So I do have this book focused for women. The stories are about women. Does it mean that men aren't allowed to read it? Of course not. I've had men read it as well, but I did want to create something that really rang true, that felt like just women can like relate, that it resonates with them. And so that was through and through what I wanted to create. And that's what the book is for.
Okay, do you work in the financial sector?
Yeah, I'm a financial advisor. So it's really a lot of like the stories that I share are based on clients that I've worked with, people that I've worked with over the years. So I changed all like the names and things like that, of course, for confidentiality. But it's just to just, I guess, like show people that this is like real life people that are doing these things. So hopefully that it all seems a little less intimidating, knowing, hey, this person did it and I can do it too. Like these are real life stories. And I hope that's a really motivating factor for people. So it really helped being that I was in the financial industry. I'm in the financial industry. I'm a financial advisor. I've done this for 15 years or so. So yes, I really pulled on that, and I felt ready to write the book now in my journey because I've learned so much along the way.
Are women lagging behind in financial knowledge? Because there are many, many working women. I mean, it's not like the 1950s where mom stayed home and baked cookies and dad supported the family and took care of the money. Women are, I would say nearly on par with men in
Hmm.
terms of breadwinner. Is that the term? For the
Yeah,
for
I
the
get, well,
family?
I don't know if it's like politically correct now, but
Yeah,
you're
I know
right.
it's kind of an
Women
old-fashioned
are
term.
breadwinners too. I'm the breadwinner here,
Well, that's what I
in
meant. I meant
Brooklyn Center.
women are equally the breadwinner in a family, in many families. In fact, I know several families where the woman makes a lot more than the man does. He's an artist. He stays home and writes songs, and she goes to an office and works. and make six figures, right? So it's just
Yeah.
interesting to me that while women have excelled in the workplace and being a dominant breadwinner in the family in some cases, they've lagged behind in financial education.
Yeah, and I don't think it's the case. Like, I honestly think it's more of a case, unfortunately, of more like this negative self talk and almost saying things like, I'm not good with money, I'm not good with math. And it's almost like this self fulfilling prophecy that we're giving ourselves. I honestly don't believe there's a big difference in knowledge level between women and men. I think women, it's almost like that imposter syndrome shows up in this realm a little bit more. And that's why I think women just don't feel like they know enough. So I wrote this book, and I say in the book, like, it's taking the reader on a journey to build confidence, because I believe that was the missing piece, that women just need a little bit of a confidence boost. Because again, you're right, they're earning more or the same, or like that's happening. But it's like for some reason, they're like the inner dialogue and their belief in their self is not keeping up with that. So I specifically wrote this book with the intention of, if I can give them that little confidence boost, then maybe they will feel ready, inspired to take the action step, to do the things. And I think that's all it is. I don't think there's a big difference. I think men and women struggle in that realm of financial literacy, and that's more so based on, we didn't learn a lot of these concepts when we were growing up, or in school, in our formal education. There's not a lot of opportunity to learn these things, so both women and men oftentimes aren't given a really great start education wise.
I want to hit a couple of your talking points. And the first one I got a kick out of it says, go on a date with your money. Every time I've gone on a date with my money, I come home alone.
Yeah.
The money just disappears somewhere on the date. What do you mean by that?
Yeah. So, I mean, going on a money date, and I write about this in the book, it's about giving dedicated time and attention to your money. So, we spend so much time and energy earning our money. Like, people spend 40 plus hours a week, depending on what kind of job you have and whatnot. You're spending so much time earning the money, but how much time are you giving back to your money? So, a money date really, in its essence, is just spending dedicated time, uninterrupted time, focused on your money. So I call it a money date because I think, like, if you can open up that calendar, schedule it in, you can commit to it, right? We don't want to stand up our money. We're going to commit to the date. You put it in your calendar, a time, and you just set that as the intention of, like, okay, on Sunday at 2 p.m., I'm going to sit down and I'm going to go through the expenses of the past month, because I don't know how much I spend on average per month, and I think that's important for me to know. And it seems like things are getting more expensive, so I'm going to spend that time going through last month's transactions, seeing how much I spend, just to get a better idea, so I have that awareness. So that's a money date. It could be all sorts of different things you do, but it's just giving dedicated time and attention and scheduling it in, just to make it like an appointment, make it like a date where you're not going to stand up your money.
Okay. Do you have any specific tips for seniors who might be on fixed incomes when, the prices, inflation hits and they're not getting any more money? Is there any tips you have for them?
Yeah, of course, there's always still hope, but I think it's just acknowledging too that yeah, we're going through a really tough time with raising, like, inflation going up, because everything's getting more expensive, and it does seem really overwhelming. Like, your money is just not going as far, you're not able to buy as much. So I think, it's kind of reframe first, like giving yourself that, that acceptance, and saying, like, okay, it's just this is a tough time, and yes, prices are rising, because I think we're so hard on ourselves that, like, step one is to just be kind to ourselves, give ourselves permission and say, okay, that's okay. This is what's happening, and this is why I'm feeling the strain. So, okay, I get it. It makes sense. And then it's about, like I said, maybe it's taking time to get some money awareness. So maybe you look back at some past transactions and see, is there anything I can change? Because the focus has to be on what you can control, right? So inflation, rising interest rates, unfortunately, those are really big things that are outside of our control. But what we can do is say, okay, what can I do? So if I have this amount of money, how about I look through my expenses and see, is there anything I can change, adjust? Can I change where I buy items, what I'm spending it on? So again, focusing on the what you can control, because there's so much outside of what is in the realm of what we can do. And don't spend your energy on that, because that's just stressful. You're not going to get anywhere, and it's not going to make you feel any better. So focusing on the things that you can do, just trying to get creative with then ideas of things like vacationing or activities that bring you joy. So I think we have this idea of like retirement. Sometimes people picture like, I'm going to be traveling nonstop and I'm going to go to this, beach vacation, and then I'm going to go over to Europe, and then I'm going to go, see these sites and whatnot. And it gets like, that's a lot. And it feels like, exactly, if you said, if you're on a fixed income and things are getting more expensive, all that stuff feels really out of reach. And then it feels like, am I doing this wrong, or am I behind? And so I think it's just acknowledging, like, can we think outside of the box? Like, what actually brings you joy? Is it spending time with your family, your grandchildren? Then do things like that, because those are activities that probably don't cost a lot. Maybe it's like you love reading books, and so just reading on your porch, enjoying some sunshine, like that feels like a getaway in some ways too, I would say. So it's getting creative, thinking outside of the box. Maybe it's finding like your own little side hustle. Like there is this whole gig economy side hustle. Maybe it's you love animals and you opt to like walk some dogs for some extra income or things like that, like stuff that you actually enjoy doing, brings you joy anyway. Might as well make some money. My mom watches my little guy and I pay her to watch him. So I'm like, well, there you go. Like that's her side hustle. She's spending time with her grandchildren and she's making some extra money.
Oh, well, that's a good deal for her.
Yeah.
And for you, actually, because you're leaving your children or child with somebody that you can trust.
Exactly. It's worth it for me. So of course, I'm not going to just expect her to watch him. Like I appreciate that. So that can be her little side hustle, I guess.
We're just about out of time. The book is called Make Money Your Thing. Make Money Your Thing. My guest is Kalee Boisvert. And do you have a website that you want to give out?
Yeah, sure. It's just my first name, last name.com. So KaleeBoisvert.com.
Okay. And the book is out. It's available everywhere. Is it available through your website as well?
No, it just sends you links to online platforms. So like Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Target, all the online sites it's available. And then it's starting to come available in some of the actual bookstores as well.
Are you getting any good reviews?
I am. Yeah, I got a Kirkus starred review. That felt really good.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Kalee, thanks so much for coming back on the show. It's nice seeing you again, and best of luck with the book.
Thank you for having me.